Hi there. So when I reviewed the Merach R28 rowing machine, it was with a little bit of kind of trickiness because it was such a blatant rip-off of the Concept 2. I knew that most people would be commenting, kind of saying, how dare you review that machine, it's a rip-off, blah, 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 blah. Luckily, although they have a water rower version, there doesn't seem to be that same kind of like cult of Concept 2 thing going around water rowers. So we're going to review the water rower from Merach today, the R28, which will hopefully allow the machine to stand on its own rather than me spending the whole time saying, well, on the Concept 2 it does this and this does this. So let's get into it. Now, don't worry, I'm not going to make you sit through me trying to build this rowing machine, but I am going to do super time-lapse, if only so that you can look at just how lovely the weather is. It's never like this in Glasgow, trust me. Anyway, it's actually a really simple process. It's about 10 bolts you have to put together, and it's just about lining a couple of things up and it's all put together. So this isn't a tricky one in the slightest. When it comes to filling up the water tank, there is a scale on the side of 1 to 6. Now, it doesn't tell you anything about that. It just says 1 is the easiest, 6 is the hardest. The water rower itself, I think, is at 17 litres. It recommends as a kind of the average. That's what it's going to feel like to row in the water. Don't really seem to have that here in the Merach, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to fill it up until it says 3. Okay, it's all built. Before I do a test on this, Lulu and I, she's checking the handle, don't lick the handle, all right, she's off, want to see how this folds. So when putting it together, I had kind of like an idea of what it does, but basically there's a bar in the middle, you pull on it, and then that happens. And that's it. Okay, and it's actually quite nicely weighted because I've got 3 litres or 3 whatevers of water in here. How do you open up again? Well, I figured just tip it forwards very slightly. Yep. Pull on the back, still holding onto the handle because this way you'll make sure you're not going to chop your finger off. And then let it come down. Put the monitor back up into its position. Slide the seat forwards. And I think we're ready to give this a test. I have put my feet in the foot stretchers already, and I've lowered it so there's one hole showing, so that seems to give me the best point for my feet. So the foot straps are actually quite nice and thick. They've got Velcro on them, so they stick in place. They're not going to get loose. I wonder why Concept 2 don't have Velcro on their straps. I wonder why. However, now this is a personal thing. I used to use the water rower, the performance water rower, the dual rail one similar to this, but what I didn't like about it is the fact that my feet are so close together. They're basically, what are we, about that far apart, whereas I'm so used to rowing on a Concept 2 where they're kind of like that far apart that this feels weird to me, but maybe this is something that you're gonna like. Other things, I don't like the handle. It's a little bit too narrow and it's a little bit too thin. The seat's nice and comfortable, I'll say that much. So in terms of actually sitting on here, the only real kind of issue that I have is a personal one when it comes to how close my feet are together. The handle is just a kind of, again, I'm so used to using a Concept 2 handle. So anyway, let's give this a little bit of a test and see what it's like. All right. Well, it's not bad actually. So the resistance from having it at level 3 is quite nice and strong. I could certainly take some water out to make it less. And I could certainly put some water in to make it a lot stronger. So that's a good sign. The profile of the stroke, I feel connected the whole way through, from the front all the way to the back. There does seem to be like a spring on the pulley, so it does feel like it's pulling me forwards very slightly. It's a bit of a stronger return than if I was like on a Concept 2, but again, I'm not comparing it to Concept 2. Positions, that's the most important part. Can I get into the best ergonomic position for rowing? Which is arms straight, forwards tilt, and rolling until shins are vertical. Which, yep, I can do as well without fear of punching the monitor. So actually, from a rowing point of view, this isn't that bad. I think as far as a water rower goes, this feels very similar to the water rower that I use. Now, the kind of stronger pull back of the handle is a little bit weird. The handle itself, a little bit weird, but if you're just looking for like a nice quiet water rower, because this is super quiet, then maybe, unlike that dog that's barking, then maybe this is a good choice for you. However, the monitor, much like the R50, sucks. Well, that's not fair. It's telling me total time my stroke rate, the distance of that row, calories burnt, and total count, so the amount of strokes that I've taken. And that's it. So no pace data, nothing to tell you exactly how hard you're working at the time. And actually, if I try and connect the Merach app, it's a bit rubbish as well. That doesn't tell you pace data. So let's see, okay, so that's me in the app. If I connect to R28, okay, connect Bluetooth, and then I think I can just go into, if I just do, yeah, quick start, free training, go. R28 is connected. And yeah, you can see on screen here, I can't swipe away to anything else. The screen itself just has duration, calories, distance, stroke rate, and total strokes. So there's nothing on here to tell me the pace that I'm going to be rowing at. So if I row, it starts going, I mean, it connects via Bluetooth into this app, but it doesn't give me any more information. And even if I was to change, so if I go Mazatlan, I wonder how this is going to work. Are you ready? Oh, I am. Oh, it's a competition. Ooh. All right, so what's it telling me? Go. So this has a little bit more data on there. Does it? No, it doesn't. It's got resistance as an option, but it's not telling me what that actually is. And the map itself, that looks a bit strange. But anyway, yeah, it's giving me nothing to do with effort or pace. So the other option, which I want to try, Exer. So Exer is, if you didn't know about it, it's a virtual rowing app. And basically any rowing machine that works with the FTMS Bluetooth protocol, which I think this one does, will connect to Exer and you can take part in it. So, well, there we go. Okay, so yeah, so one of the options on the monitor is scan, and that seems to be how you turn Bluetooth on. Okay, so it seems to be connected from before. So if I just start rowing, what happens? Oh, nothing. Oh, that's disappointing. So distance is going up, time is going up, but my wee fella's not moving, and there's definitely no pace data. So I don't know whether that's got something to do with how this is broadcasting Bluetooth to Exer, or maybe how Exer is reading the Bluetooth from this. I don't know, but that's not right. And that's a shame. I kind of thought that would be my solution to the data problem. All right, so what is my final review of the R28 water rower from Merach? Well, it's kind of similar to the R50, to be honest, in many ways, in that if you're just looking for a machine that you can exercise on, but you don't really care about data, then this is a perfectly suitable machine for you to use. And actually, if you want a machine that's quiet, which this is because it's a water rower, it's really super quiet, it's fantastic, and you want it so that it'll fold up, so you can stick it in a cupboard somewhere, remember to bring it back out and row on it from time to time, then again, this is a fantastic choice because it does exactly that, whereas like the air rowers, although they'll break into two, they still take up a lot of space. And the stroke itself feels okay. I'm connected all the way through. I can get into all the positions I need to. The seat's comfortable enough. So yeah, fine. It's actually an okay machine to row on as long as you don't care about data. Okay, it's the moment you need to know how fast you're rowing, this is a machine that you don't want to go absolutely nowhere near. All right, so the handle, I could do with it being a little bit wider. I could do with it being a little bit thicker, but that's just a personal preference. The feet, I could do with it being a little bit wider apart, but again, it's a personal preference. But it really is the data thing that lets this down as far as I'm concerned when it comes to rowing. I'd be like, what am I doing? I have no idea how much force I'm putting into this. So do take a look, because I am going to try and put the Smart Row pulley into this machine. So do take a look and see if a video pops up in a couple of weeks' time with me attempting to put the Smart Row pulley into here. And that, again, would be quite ironic, because after all, the R50 air rower, I kind of said is an okay rower, but the data's rubbish. You can fix it with a Smart Row handle. This one, I say it's an okay rower, but the data's rubbish. You can fix it with a Smart Row pulley if I can get that to work. So if you are interested in this machine, remember I've got an affiliate code. You'll see it in the description below, and quite possibly it's down here as well for you to look at and enter in, because you will get money off when you buy it. This is already relatively cheap as it is, and you'll get even more off if you use that code. I get a kickback as well, but hopefully that doesn't matter to you. You just care about like the 10 or 15% discount that you get using my code. Can't remember if it's 10 or 15, apologies. So that's it. And I will eventually row 2K on this machine, because I know I can at least get up to 2K on this, for the monitor will show me that. I'll just have absolutely no idea how fast I'm going to get there. I hope you enjoyed this review. Let me know what you think of it. Let me know if you're entertained at all by the prospect of this machine. And make sure and check out all the workouts and the technique tips and reviews, all that kind of stuff that I've got up here on the channel. And make sure and keep an eye out every week for the Will It 2K series, where I try and row 2,000 meters on a different rowing machine every week. Okay, so until the next time, please look after yourselves, row well, be well, bye-bye.